guys, what's up? Welcome back to Crazy Poultry Inc. I am your host and resident crazy rooster, Guy Loco, Ian Novak, and with me as usual...
I'm just your normal chicken, niggerish chicken.
Are you that normal? You don't want to be normal here. Oh.
Well, you're right.
So we have another for you. We actually saw a movie a couple of nights ago that we were really anticipating, but we also just recently saw something. In fact, earlier this morning, this Sunday morning...
10:30 to be exact.
Yeah. Oh, no, hold on that. That was Blockers. That's the name it's going with. However, the poster... I'm going to say, I think the actual name of this is Cock Blockers.
And
I think it actually is.
Because they say it in the movie more than once.
Yeah, they do. But what a perfect film for this channel to be reviewing, known as Crazy Poultry, because it's Cock Blockers. And there's a picture of a chicken on there. So I think it just kind of makes sense. I went into this just going, hey, it could be a funny movie, but, you know, we both have a history with a certain cast member in it, and that being John Cena. But as far as a wrestler, we're not fans of him, and I'm not that much of a fan of him. But I can admit he can be funny sometimes. So I was like, you know what? This might be okay. And to me, it was a surprise how much I actually did laugh. Do I think that this is just like a great comedy to come out of nowhere? It's not great and particularly memorable, but it was still enjoyable. But if you can't tell, the basic premise is 3 girls that are graduating from high school soon decide to lose their virginity on prom night, and the parents try to cockblock them. And it's...
basically kind of the overprotective parent kind of thing. You know how some parents could be, I gotta be there, I gotta be there, I gotta be there, I gotta follow him, I gotta track them. You know, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. It's not a premise that we've not ever heard before. I mean, there was a few callbacks to some stuff that wasn't necessarily that, but there was a 16 Candles poster in one person's room, which was like, haha, homage there to something. But I thought actually the standout of this was the 3 girls in this. I actually thought they had really good chemistry, and they came off as friends that have known each other for years.
They're kind of 3 completely different girls too.
One was, I don't like to use this term, but kind of girly, somewhat. One was a little bit more athletic, because her dad was John Cena, so like we couldn't see that coming. And one was kind of like a more quiet and
kind of
nerdy kind of, that has a big secret. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I think it just pulls off exactly what it wants to. It just wants to be a fun comedy with some, you know, heart to it, unexpectedly. I thought that I never remember his name. He's always a face I recognize. He's in a lot of TV shows that I watch. But the guy that played the single dad.
Ike Barinholtz. I really like him a lot.
Yeah, he was really, he was the standout in this.
He was my favorite in the movie.
Yeah. And I just have to say this, John Cena got a number of laughs from me. Because he's kind of playing off type.
It's a weird...
Yeah,
he's like a... I don't know. He's a... You know, he's like wanted to be the... What's the word? Poster dad. He had the tucked in shirt, you know, the geeky looking shorts, you know,
I just bought these shorts.
I don't know. Just definitely a different role for John Cena.
Yeah. And so that was a nice change. He's played a couple really strange ones, but those were like very like small cameos. And those actually were funny, but he was not ever the star of it. So that's what was a concern for me. I still think that, you know, Leslie Mann still did a nice job. I don't get disappointed with her that much. I felt like maybe they could have done a little bit more with her story background, because they kind of just burst it every once in a while with her getting emotional about something. But that's kind of a small nitpick. I didn't also get a strong feeling of the relationship with John Cena and his wife.
Until the end.
until the end. But
oh God.
I mean, I know that that's not the focus, so I'm not gonna harsh on it too much.
So, the main girl, the preppy girl's boyfriend, those parents were interested.
And I recognized both.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, they're in this.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. But it definitely does influence some good comedy, and then tracks back to it later at the end. So it's a nice little around. But I mean, going into it, I was just like, this could be fine and passable, or it could just be stupid. Because I will admit, the trailer does give probably some of the best jokes away. But there were a pretty good amount of jokes from the three girls that weren't in the trailer that I thought actually were pretty good, especially from the girl that was John Cena's daughter.
It was very dirty.
Yeah, dirty. And then what helps unsurprise me is the fact that Seth Rogen had a little bit of input into this. So if I would have known that, I would not have been as drawn off.
He's really good friends with Ike Barinholtz.
So
Ike Barinholtz is one of the Rogen's crew, so it doesn't really surprise me that he was in it, but he was fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can kind of say is that I don't think this is a gigantic, memorable comedy, but it's not a bad one. I don't mind. I wouldn't say you mind seeing it one time to see how you feel about it, but I'm not gonna go out and buy this anytime soon. It was still at least a fun time for seeing a movie really early.
It's going to be a Black Friday purchase for me when it's down to nothing, pretty much.
Like $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see how I feel about it later on, but
I gotta admit, going into it, I didn't really want to see it.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, I gotta check it out because we always say you gotta see the bad ones too. So I actually liked it more than I thought I was going to. I gotta be honest.
But going into it, I noticed it was getting way more critical praise than I thought it was.
Getting critical praise, and people are actually hating it. So
yeah, what a shock.
It's one of those critics are kind of liking it, and people are hating it.
So usually that kind of bodes more well for me. So I didn't feel too. So yeah, I had a good time with this. It's just nothing groundbreaking or gigantically memorable. So I'm going to give it a B-. I had a good time. It's just not the game changer or gigantically memorable.
Kind of in the middle, the B-, C+ range. God. I think just because I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did, I'm going to give it a B-. I would have said probably worse, but I actually had quite a few laughs, and even as it was 10:30 in the morning on a Sunday, I actually laughed surprisingly, and kept me wide awake. So again, I recommend you seeing it once to see if you like it, like he said.
Yeah.
And if you do so, you can buy it on Blu-ray or just wait like me and get it on Black Friday.
And you kind of have to mention that a small little thing for you is you didn't even pay $10 to see it.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, you basically paid $6, so
yeah,
works out good for you. But now, let's get to the bigger story, because I'm sure all of you have seen this out in the news and other reviews, but the movie that we saw a few nights ago was our very anticipated, both of ours are #1 horror movie anticipation, and that was A Quiet Place. Holy fuck. I think this may have met all my expectations. I didn't want to try to give it too high of an expectation to get it, oh my gosh, it didn't live up to that, but
I just want to say beforehand, this has been hopefully a reoccurring thing to where a comedy actor does his first movie, a la Jordan Peele doing Get Out, which was incredible.
Well, his first horror.
Yeah, and then John Krasinski,
he directed two
first
others.
big movie.
Yeah.
John Krasinski did this, and it's self-explanatory.
And this is the first time that he's actually not just been paired with his actual wife, Emily Blunt, but this is the first time he said that he's actually ever seen her, working. And it was just amazing for him to get to see that, because they have two completely different ways of that they go about their business. But Whew. So, the best way to describe this is it's an hour and a half. Already a fine start right there. Contained thriller horror. I kind of want to put more emphasis on thriller because it's definitely more suspense.
Well, they say it's a mystery thriller.
Yeah, mystery thriller. About a weird, I guess, alien race.
And it's in upstate New York.
Upstate New York. Those locations are stuff that I never really remembered that well. But it just throws you into this apocalyptic thing that has happened with these creatures.
And it's not too far away from this date either.
Yeah.
So that's kind of scary.
But it just starts off that this is like the 89th day. That after this is like affected the whole world or something, and you're just given the way that this family here has to survive in basic silence. Because that's the way these creatures work, is that they hear very well. They're blind, but they hear very well. Basically, think of the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
And they do actually give little hints of them being blind because, is this a spoiler?
I don't know if it would be.
Okay, well, there's a contraption the kid gets that, makes you kind of think, oh, wait, they may actually be blind because it actually helps the kid. So
yeah. But you're basically just on the journey of them trying to survive and adapt. You don't know what has happened in the rest of the world. You don't know a thing about the government.
People
knew
are
about
still
this.
alive.
You basically have pictures on walls of news and Newsweek or something like that to kind of go off of.
Strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. Stuff written down, which I kind of like. It's just trying to be your audience can probably figure this out, and I like that. Doesn't spoon feed it to you like some do. But John plays the dad. Emily Blunt plays his wife. They have three kids. Technically 4. And yeah, it's just you just watch their lives and you see how they can adapt to it. And whenever you think that they have enough prepared, you're never prepared. It's kind of like Parenthood a little bit.
But whenever you think, how are they going to do something in some situation, John Krasinski completely answers that question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to give that away, but I really want to.
Again, there's not, I think, a whole lot we can get into because
I really want to.
There's a lot of action storytelling in this because they don't talk a lot. And
I will say there is sand involved, and it's a
lot.
very important part of the story. And I can only imagine how much sand that they had to go through because it's something that's paramount to them surviving.
Yeah, it is.
And if they don't have it, obviously, it's all constructed to being quiet. Mm-hmm. And obviously you saw in the preview, the house, there's certain spots in the house you have to step on, not to get in creeks. There's a game they play with dice. They actually do use dice, but
they have carpet down.
And
they have special pieces,
like knit pieces and hearts and whatever else that they have to use. I was just all the thought process that went into it. I don't know. It was just wow. And then you talk about dramatic, funny, fun at times, intense. Intense is probably the number one. Scary. I gotta admit, okay, I haven't jumped in a long time in a movie, and this got me one time. Or I should have expected it, but I didn't. Yeah. And it definitely got me, but it got a lot of people in the theater too, because you heard a lot of "oh my god," but that's normal.
But that again actually was the number one thing I was actually scared of going into it. I was like, this movie is called Quiet Place. Please, people, do not talk in this. And they didn't, and I was very surprised and shocked by that.
At 5:30 on a Thursday.
Yeah, 5:30 on Thursday. And the acting across the board I thought was really good.
The kids were really good.
To me, the standout was the little girl that's deaf in this, who actually is deaf in real life.
Yeah, and she's been in other stuff though.
I don't really know.
I shall research while Ian is
talking. Okay. I think that either way, if you're married or not, John and Emily had great chemistry, because that does not always happen. You You can be in a relationship and married and you still don't come off like that, you know, in the film. So I have to give them credit for that. And also, it had been a little while since I had seen Emily Blunt really good in a really good movie. John, I only have ever really known him from The Office. He's been in a few other things that I think I checked out, but then I was like, I'm not going to remember that, and I don't remember your performance really. But he turned in a great one, and he was co-writer and co-producing on this too. So he did a lot of work, just like Jordan Peele did with Get Out. But I think it was, I heard this, that it was Billy Crystal that actually said comedians actually are the ones that should be making horror because they have some good ideas, but also some twisted ideas. So it kind of does coincide that they should. So I'm putting this out here. Let's start a petition. All comedians make horror, because the last two fucking skyrocket.
Millicent is the girl's name, and she was in Wonderstruck last year, and I guess that was a huge movie, and it got a bunch of critics awards and everything. I guess she was pretty huge in it. And the fact that, you know, it's such, and she is deaf, you are correct.
Yeah.
So the fact that, again, that's pretty impressive and alone. It's just like, wow. I wonder how they actually constructed her lines and all that stuff and actually got everything put together.
That's probably why they had to really research sign language. Because, I mean, another thing I wanted to point out is I think it's a good 10, 15 minutes. You don't hear anybody talk. It's all sign. So that was really
She's been nominated for tons of awards for Best Youth Performance. So maybe, just maybe, she'll win
breakout
something for
role.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, this is easily right now for me in the top 3 that I've seen this year. And strangely, all 3 are very different movies. The best that I can remember, and I'm not going to give this away. This is no particular order. It would be A Quiet Place, Annihilation, and Paddington 2. Those would be in the top 3 for me.
Actually, mine are kind of all 3 different too. For me, it's actually A Quiet Place is number 1 now.
Well, yeah.
Going into it, you know, the previews looked really intriguing, and I was telling them, like I said, him and Russell, that was my number 1 horror, and it's really different, and it met all of my expectations. Number 2, really close number 2, is now Black Panther, and number 3 is Paddington. Like I said, those are all 3 completely different films,
Yeah.
so there you go.
Now we just need more better horror, and I don't even know I don't think we're even getting that much in October, which is very strange.
Now in August we have Slender Man, and then there's actually this month we have Truth or Dare, which Blumhouse. I'm like, what the hell, man? But obviously that's actually
Russell,
Friday the 13th next week. Blumhouse does Truth or Dare. So
Russell, if you're watching this, I told him when the trailer came on for that, I hope you 2 see it because I want to hear your thoughts. I'm not looking forward to it. But that's for another time. I would say that if you want to, like, complain or something about this movie, Quiet Place, it can be very nitpicky. That's only if you're that kind of nitpicky person. I think that if you look at how are they having electricity sometimes, or how is this working or something, that is like asking how do the trucks and cars keep going in Mad Max Fury Road. I don't care now because of the characters I get wrapped into the story and the environment. That is exactly what Quiet Place did. It didn't really make me challenge that because I liked all the characters and the way that this is flowing. There were just a few times with the kids growing with this that I would figure, I think that they're smart enough not to do these 2 things that happen, but I'm also remembering that they're kids, so I kind of have to let that go.
And the situation that they were in,
Yeah.
I mean, you really don't have time to think about anything. That's why I thought it's just like, well, if he's gonna go do that, it's like it was just a split instinct decision, and you know he had to make it, you know, and then they ended up doing what they did. And obviously I'm not gonna say anything. Wish I could, but you all need to go see this.
Yeah, no, I'm highly recommending that. And like how I said in the very beginning, this is only an hour and a half. It's not going to take a giant chunk out of your time, which is what I was really refreshed with. So yeah, grade. If I have to give this a grade, I don't care with the small nitpicks. I'm giving this an A plus. This
Damn.
met all my expectations. I thought it was going to be good, and it was just throughout. It was suspenseful. It was thrilling. It was well acted. It was a good script. A great idea. It met every one of my things that I want in this movie.
And obviously, since it's my new #1 of the year, you all know my grade, A plus. I thought Black Panther was the closest thing to perfection for me this year, but wow, Quiet Place was evidently A plus is perfect. So it was perfect.
Yeah. So.
If you don't see it, I feel sorry for you because you missed a heck of a movie. Sorry, Garen. I'm calling you out. You should have come, buddy.
To be fair, the day we were going, traffic was pretty messed up here in Bloomington, so. But I still want to call you an L7 weenie. There I go. So yeah, so like you mentioned, coming up, Truth or Dare.
Yeah,
next
week. But then the week after that, you have, oh god, Super Troopers 2, and something else comes out on the 20th.
Yeah, I don't really remember
Again,
that well.
I guess I could. But then the week after that, oh god, Infinity War. I mean, obviously the name and alone is just epic, and I'm hoping, it's as good as advertised. I mean, it can't be bad, right?
It can be, but Marvel doesn't have that bad of a track record. I'm just kind of really wondering what the climax of the death of what hero will be. So that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I only know a few that I definitely know aren't. So. And then there's the biggest one, but then he hasn't gone away after the last few. So.
I'm going to go ahead and make a guess. I think
Okay.
2 big ones are gonna die.
2 big ones.
And then I'm talking about big, like 2 of the main.
I thought at most it could be one kind of minor-ish, then one major. So. But I don't want to predict. I want to just go in and be surprised.
Again, reason I'm going to see it early because I don't want to see any spoilers. That's the reason it came out in a week early because they didn't want to spoil anything. So it's coming out worldwide everywhere.
Yeah.
The 27th. See, it would have come out a week later for us, which would have really sucked because we would have seen everything. It's like you couldn't get on any social media without seeing that because you guarantee every third post is going to be about Infinity War.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that. I guess you kind of have that coming up, Truth or Dare.
And then 3 weeks after Infinity War is Deadpool.
Deadpool 2, which I'm very excited for. I did mention if you go back and you've seen our Ready Player One review, we'll be hopefully working at some point a special Steven Spielberg thing, but I've also been kind of watching some that I'd never seen before. Like the last movie I just watched was Adventures of Tintin. Don't know if you've seen that.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
I'd have to watch
that's all
it
I'm
again.
Say. Well, you can borrow from me if you want.
Yeah, the 20th also, God of War comes out. I will
gaming.
Be probably the week end of Infinity War, which is like 27, 28, 29. I probably will be doing a review. That way I'll have a week to play it. Yeah. I don't really want to do a pre-review because we all know how excited I am about it. But as I play it, I guess he'll probably document me playing it at some point. So you guys will get to see that.
Can work out. So yeah, but also guys, be ready because we have another video that we're going to be working on very shortly. And that's just me a great time. But until then, you can find me at GaioLoco89 on Twitter, Ian Novak on Facebook, and if you guys have the Stardust app, which I encourage you to, where you can do 30 seconds of reactions, I am Crazy Rooster 89 on there. Please tell us if you've seen A Quiet Place, and if you have, please comment and tell us, because I know this is already getting rave stuff and it's already making a lot of money, but it is worth it. So just please tell us down on the bottom. And what did you think of Cock Blockers? Oh, I'm sorry, Blockers. If you've seen it. So yeah, that's all for me.
Nick Wood on Facebook, Nickerish_chicken 87 on Instagram, Nickerish Chicken on Twitter, and yeah, Pokemon and Snapchat. You can just find me, I guess. Whatever. you know. But thinking about actually starting a video game blog at some point. So I will let you know all the info when that gets out. Since I play a lot, so I figured I should share my ideas, you know, and yeah. Well, you guys have to check that out.
Well, but if you want to check that out, please subscribe down below.
Yes, do that.
And,
like our videos.
And also just another throw-in, it's also WrestleMania Sunday, so I'm wearing Matt proud today. See how this goes. Takeover was awesome, so let's see how that does.
Good luck living up to that, WrestleMania.
Yeah. Till then, next time you see us, we might be in a little bit of pain. That's all I'm going to say.